coming. Ready, right?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Brokat i Cycki. I am Freya Flame.
I'm Colette de la Creme.
Moonlight Pixie.
And today we're gonna talk about our inspirations for burlesque acts. So, would you like to start, girls?
Yeah, sure. So, thank you. A big inspiration for me is Kubrick. I really love Kubrick films. And I became obsessed with Kubrick when I had a weird paranormal incident. Actually, I had a couple paranormal incidents, which I won't get into here. Should I tell do you want to hear the Kubrick?
I'm super curious.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
Okay. Well, I guess it's okay because I do tarot on the channel as well, right? Okay. If I didn't do tarot on the channel, I probably wouldn't tell it, but because I do tarot on the channel, it's fine. So in about 2017, I had this weird incident where I was living with my best friend in California, and I actually lived with him for about 10 years. And one morning in 2017, he had gone to work. I was between jobs, as always. And I had this very, very strange feeling about an hour after I woke up that there was a presence with me. And the presence was so strong that at one point I fell to my knees on the carpet and I was kind of like almost doubled over. And I was like, what is this? What is this? And I had never done any kind of like mediumship or trance channeling before. I had never attempted to do that. I had never tried to do that. And somehow I knew that it was the energy. This sounds so crazy. I knew that it was the energy of Stanley Kubrick. And his energy was really powerful and strong. And he was really like forceful and dominating. It was kind of like being wrapped up by a bear, and it's really weird. And so he kept telling me two things over and over. He was like, don't make any deals with the wrong people, and he kind of kept saying that over and over again. And the second thing he said was, I sold humanity out for lenses. And at the time, I didn't really know much about Stanley Kubrick. Mm-hmm. This trance lasted about maybe an hour or an hour and a half, and he said those two things over and over again. And I was like, I get it. Thank you. Can I do my day now?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, like, can sever the connection? Thank you. Like, it was literally those two things over and over again. And so when his energy left my body, and I've never had anything like this before or after happen to me. When his energy left my body, it traveled all the way up my spinal column and then just disappeared. And I've never had anything like that before. And so at the end of that, I was like really shaken. I couldn't do much the rest of the day. I was fucked up for the rest of the day after that. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, did Stanley Kubrick like lenses? Like, is that a thing? And so I became obsessed with Kubrick, and I started reading biography after biography, finding anything I could online. And of course, Stanley Kubrick was not only obsessed with lenses, but for some reason, and we're not going to go into that here, he was literally able to call up somebody at NASA one fine day and be like, bro, send me your lenses. And they did it. NASA sent him lenses. So when he filmed Barry Lyndon, he filmed Barry Lyndon using some kind of weird ass like NASA lenses. And I was just like, okay. So as I was developing my first act, which is called Don't Overlook Me, and it's about a woman who goes to a party at the Overlook Hotel and her boa becomes possessed by a demon and tries to kill her. So as I was developing that act, I was reading a lot of Stanley Kubrick biographies, and I was listening to music, trying to figure out like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Trying to figure out like, well, what song is going to tell that story? Mm-hmm. And so I settled on a couple of different things. I brought music from The Shining into it, of course. Just to kind of like clue the audience in that like we're at the Overlook Hotel now. Mm-hmm. And then the song that I used was actually a PMJ song. So that kind of all came together for me. And then the costume that I was working on was very 20s looking. And so it's that party at the Overlook Hotel on July 4th where it's like we're in the 20s, da-da-da. And that was the first act. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Honestly, it's hard to say something after such a confession.
Yeah.
But wow, totally interesting. Okay, my inspiration isn't so spectacular. But when I started my adventure with burlesque, I knew that my first act will be neo burlesque act, and I want to be a witch in this act. And I want to focus on magic, myths, legends, and all this mysterious stuff. And that's why I chose my nickname, Freya Flame. Freya is a
Goddess.
is a goddess from Scandinavia. So many of my acts are based on this magical, mysterious stuff, like The Witch, Unchained. It's a very dark act, mixing, let's say, very epic, like movie music with belly dance. What else? I have also a fairy full of flowers. I have magician. It's more like classic.
This one is funny.
Yeah, it's more like a classic burlesque, but I put some illusion in it just to stick to the magic stuff. But as the time goes by, after a few years, I just wanted to do more experiments with classic burlesque. So I think that now I have 50-50. Half of my acts are like focused on magic and mysterious stuff, and second part is more like classic, elegant. I would even say a bit commercial. And every time I send somebody my bio, it says that my inspiration is magic, myths, mysterious aura, but also feminine archetypes. So that's all about me.
Yeah.
Pixie, your turn.
My turn. And my biggest inspiration is whoa, my life. Really, when I was working on my first act, I knew that it must be very personal. It must be something that is coming directly from my life, from my guts, from my heart, because I wanted to be as much authentic as I could on stage. And just because, I'm living on the seaside and all those, like mysterious creatures living in the sea, like mermaids. But mermaids was like, okay, mermaids, it's everywhere. But what is really like the Polish one? And I thought, oh, Rusałka.
Slavic one.
Slavic
Power.
fairy tales about Rusałka was something that really, really got into me. And I was like, okay, but my Rusałka will be telling the story about getting out the very dark time in your life and finding love for yourself, for the world. And this is how I build my act. But yeah, that was my story. I was dealing with depression. I also found a lot of joy in my life because of burlesque, and that was like kind of wow moment. And I really wanted to show this story on stage. But also, I have this office siren act when I'm just like office lady, because this is who I am in my day job. I'm dealing with stupid meetings on Teams and Excel and things. And I was like, okay, I want to tell this story as well. I want to be funny. I want to be myself on the stage, but yeah, invite people into my world. And
this is something that people might actually they recognize this situation. Yeah, a lot of us work a day job in the office, and they have to deal with stupid meetings, as you said.
absolutely. And I heard a lot of comments about it, that, oh wow, I found myself in it. So you can be office worker, but you can be sexy as well at the same time. But yeah, inspirations sometimes are coming from different places. Like the act I'm working on now, and this will be the snake act, is actually inspired by Ken Russell movie. It's what's the title? The title is Nest of the, oh my god, I forgot the title. I'm the worst one. It's with very young Hugh Grant in it. Like, highly recommended.
Oh, so it's an old movie.
Oh yeah, it's really old. It's camp.
Sorry, Mr. Grant.
Oh, he was so sexy back then.
So sexy.
He is. Yeah, he's my daddy. Be my daddy. No, but really, like, I saw this movie and I was like, oh my god, I love this kitsch story. I love how campy it is. I love the vibe. And I was like, okay, I want to get a little bit from it and put it through my lenses as Kubrick did. So yeah, I have this whole circle.
That is so perfect. And what I love that I'm hearing from all of us, from everybody, is that we're drawing into some very sort of deep but like collective unconscious kind of like Jungian stuff. So what's funny to me is that people think that burlesque is like a bunch of broads like slapping a G-string on their ass and like going out on stage and shaking your ass, and there's no shame if that's what you're doing, no shame. But I think for so many of us in the neo-burlesque movement, this is it. Like we're telling these stories in a way that's unique to the way that women tell stories, through our bodies and through dance and through like, you know, all of this sort of like mythical stuff that we do. And another thing that I would posit for the audience's consideration is that women back in the day, we used to be priestesses in all of these like ancient religions, right? If you go back to Egypt and Babylon, I don't know much about Babylon, but I do know a little bit about Egypt. And so when you go back to some of these cultures, even like the Druidic cultures and all of this kind of lore, women are there doing stuff. And so I feel like neo-burlesque, for myself personally, is very much that movement of women kind of like becoming priestesses, but in a very sort of a modern way, and telling these stories over and over again. Almost like, I don't know, maybe it's pretentious to say that it's a form of shamanism. I guess it depends how far you take your psychic stuff. But I feel like for women, it's very much linked, like the psychic aspect, the psychological aspect, sexuality and myth and magic. I feel like these are just 100% women's topics.
That's true. And a very romantic conception of a burlesque performer as a priestess. I love it. Lovely. So I'd like to share one story from my working on an act. Because once I was invited by two girls. One was a singer and the second was playing on a violin. And they wanted to do Feeling Good by Nina Simone song. And they wanted to do the video for this song. And the violinist heard that I do burlesque. She contacted me. She proposed to be in this video. So I said yes, of course, why not? And after this cooperation, I really wanted them to be a part of my show, to do some live music act. And I thought about this Feeling Good version. So I take a corset from one act, I took a panel skirt from a second act, I took my feather fans, and I created a completely new act just for the show, just to perform with the girls. And I still have it. It's super classic. It's like classic as fuck, commercial one. But I really like it, and it's a very good act for example, starting the show, especially in small towns where most people see burlesque for the first time. So it's a very good act to show them what's going on, what's this about.
Yeah, especially that expectation is to see those feathers,
exactly.
classic things, shiny. So yeah, that's a good starter, definitely. Yeah, but it's funny that you said that you combine some elements from different acts to build another one.
Yeah, maybe not the act, but speaking about costumes.
Yeah, but I truly adore it, and this is something I would like to also do at some point, also to save some money.
Yeah, it's always.
Let's be honest, it's very expensive, but I still have no idea how to do it. Maybe one day I will learn.
You just have to have more acts and more costumes. How many of them you have? 3? 4?
4.
Yeah, exactly.
4.5.
Okay, so wait till you have 7 or 8, then you can combine something.
Definitely. definitely. And thank you for bringing that up because that's a huge consideration. I've done that as well, where I use elements from some acts and put them into other acts. But then I have to be very careful that I'm never performing those same acts together in one show.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So yeah, you have to kind of be a bit careful, but that's perfect. Yeah.
So that's why I love Feeling Good, because I can have the red and black version, but also violet and white. So I can mix them. I can, for example, if somebody wants me to perform my masquerade act, which is the original costume, the red and black for this act, and also wants Feeling Good, I can take the white costume, take the masquerade, and it's all set. And I can do this.
And your bag is smaller.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay.
That was really nice conversation, honestly. Like, very, I feel inspired a lot. Thank you, guys. So I think that we can sum up at this moment. So thanks a lot for watching. As I said, and I always keep saying, like, don't stop being creative. Follow your heart, follow your guts, follow whatever is coming to you, and try to create something through your own lenses. This is my message. This is my message to you guys. Thanks a lot for watching us. That was our beautiful show, Brokaty Cycki. It was Moonlight Pixie,
Freya Flame.
Colette de la Creme.
So thank you guys again, and see ya.
Bye.